A major update now to a case that has rocked Hollywood for months. A judge has put a stop to Justin Baldoni's counter lawsuit against It Ends With Us co-star Blake Lively. But the legal battle is far from over. A federal judge yesterday throwing out the actor's $400 million lawsuit against Lively, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and the New York Times. The suit was in response to Blake Lively filing a complaint last year where she claimed she was sexually harassed on set by Baldoni. Lively's legal team responding to the dismissal, writing in part, quote, today as a message that these kind of retaliatory lawsuits that are really designed to silence and punish people who speak up will not work. But Baldoni's legal team not backing down, saying in part, quote, the court has invited us to amend 4 out of the 7 claims against Miss Lively, which will showcase additional evidence. So the judge did give Baldoni's team a June 23rd deadline to amend their complaint. I'd like to bring in attorney and Midas Touch host, Dina Doll, who has covered this case extensively. Dina, great to see you. All right, so what does this dismissal mean for people who haven't been following this case closely, and why would the judge opt to dismiss Baldoni's case?
I mean, it's very significant because the motion to dismiss is the earliest stage in the proceeding where you can have like a victory, let's say. And so the fact that Blake Lively was able to get a dismissal at this stage is quite significant for her. It means at this point where we are right now, Justin Baldoni has no counterclaims against Blake Lively. Blake Lively just has her, sexual harassment initial lawsuit. That kind of started the legal battle between the two. That's the only one right now that still stands.
Right, yeah, so let's talk about this because Baldoni's team is saying, we said it at the top of this, that the court has invited us to amend 4 out of the 7 claims against Miss Lively. So talk about any further recourse that Baldoni and his team has at this point.
So basically the claims that the judge invited them to basically give them a chance to revise their lawsuit against Blake Lively had to do with contractual claims, specifically the one where he claims that Ryan Reynolds was the reason why he was let go from his agency. He said that was like a breach of the implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing, as well as the editing process with Blake Lively. He said that was also the way she went about the editing process was also basically a contractual breach of the obligation between them. And the judge essentially said, you have not attached the contracts for these 2 relationships that you say the parties breached. So I cannot evaluate whether or not they breached the contract or, didn't act in good faith. So the judge is giving them a chance to basically attach or show, first of all, did these contracts exist? Were they written? Were they oral? The judge really saying, I can't decide that at this point because you haven't given me enough evidence around it.
And we heard, Dina, there, Blake Lively's team saying, she will not be silenced. What does this dismissal potentially mean for Blake Lively's case against Baldoni, if it means anything?
Well, it definitely just means that it's easier, let's say, for her to prove because she no longer has to defend a counterclaim. Now she just has to prove her claim. And it's interesting. I think the quote that we saw, another quote we saw from the attorneys of Justin Baldoni, really saying that they still believe, right, that her sexual harassment claim was false. And that is something that they will, get a chance to try to prove if this does indeed go to trial. His claims that were dismissed really weren't a defense. They were new claims, right, having to do with defamation or extortion. And that was what was dismissed. Now we're back to the original claim about sexual harassment, and he gets to defend that or not defend it in court.
So what, Dina, do you think happens next? Is there any way, for example, that Lively's case will ultimately be dismissed? And do you think this makes its way to trial, or is there likely to be some sort of settlement?
I think that I've always thought her claim was stronger between his and counterclaim and her initial claim. I always thought hers was stronger. Most likely will not get dismissed because at this stage, the judge looks at the facts and evidence and just says, in the most favorable light to, let's say, Blake Lively. Does the law require dismissal? She has alleged enough facts that that would not be the case. She has alleged enough facts, if viewed as true, as most favorable to her, would be the basis of sexual harassment. So that the facts are essentially in dispute around that. And when facts are in dispute, you don't win in these kind of preliminary nature. Those kind of cases end up at trial.
All right, so we will see what happens. Attorney Dina Doll, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.